Alright, so let's take a look at this next problem. The period is always 2 pi divided by the coefficient in front of x. So this time we have 2 pi divided by pi, and pi divided by pi, those factors cancel. So the length of our period is just 2. The normal length of the period is 2 pi, which is about 6.28. So this is a horizontal compression. We have an amplitude that's the multiplier that's in front of your sine or cosine. So in this case, it's 10.2. The center line, is there been a vertical shift? Have you taken this graph and lifted it up or down any amount of units? And here, we're the positive 16. We're lifting it up 16.2 units. So the old center line was 0, and that's 0 plus that. That's where our new center line is at. Our maximum values and minimum values are 10.2 units away from this center line. So if we add that amount, what we'll have y equals 26.4 for a maximum value. And if we subtract that amount, what we'll have 6. Y equals 6. Alright. Now for the cosine curve, we're at the center line if the input into the function is pi over 2. So let's take this algebraic expression, pi x, set it equal to pi over 2. And if we solve for x, x is 1/2. So if you plug in, if you let x be 1/2, you'll be taking the cosine of pi over 2, and you'll be on the center line. Alright, so we know that x is equal to 1/2. We also know that these points are equally spaced, and that the distance between from center line to center line is half of the period. So if we add half of the period, which half of 2 is 1, and if we add integer multiples of that, either positive values you're going forward, negative values going backwards, you'll always end up on that center line. Now for the maximum value for cosine, if that input is 0, which means that if x is equal to 0, you'll be at a maximum point. Now we know that these points are equally spaced, and that the maximum values occur at the next cycle, and the length of the period. Here the period is 2, so we've got 0 plus 2n. Alright, now for the minimum values, for cosine it's values of pi. So if x were allowed to be 1, if we input 1 into this function, the cosine of pi is -1, and you'll be at a minimum value. And again, just like the maximum values, the minimum values are equally spaced, and they occur once per cycle. It's a whole period away, and if the period is 2, you've got plus 2n. So hey, I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you later.